Hello, good evening. I hope my voice is audible and I'm visible, and also is my screen visible. So I'll have three questions together. Is my voice audible? Is my screen visible? And also, is my voice audible? So can anyone confirm in the chat box if my voice is audible? Then I'll be starting the session. Can someone confirm if my voice is audible? Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Uh, Good evening, everyone. I'll start my session. Today, the topic is on the interview preparation series of for clinical data management. Entry level interview question and answers, 10 questions, 10 answers, which we are going to discuss today during our 20 minutes of live. So the first and foremost question, which is every time asked in interviews, what exactly is basic definition of clinical data management? And why it is so important, particularly in clinical trials. What is the scope of the clinical data management? So these are fundamental questions. The first one, what is the clinical data management? So it's a turning of raw clinical trial data into the reliable analysis evidence-based data collection. So turning into raw data into most reliable and analyzable evidence data. So if you see the definition of CDM, it's the collection, integration, cleaning, and validation of clinical trial data. Four things: the collection of data, integration of data, cleaning of data, and validation of clinical trial data in accordance with, in line with protocol, GCP, and regulatory requirements. What are the core objectives? It has to deliver high quality, error free, statistically sound data. So that's a core objective. What is the scope of work? Different kinds of works are there. CRF designing is there, database build is there. Sometimes in paper studies, data entry is there, edit check specifications, discrepancy management, medical coding, reconciliation, and database log. So multiple areas of work is there. Why actually CDM matters? Because the poor quality data management systems delay submissions of data to the regulatory bodies, and also it inflates the cost, and also can invalidate the whole clinical trial study during regulatory inspections. The second and most important question is, what is case report form, and what is the difference between ECRF and paper CRF? So there is a proper difference between ECRF and paper CRF. What is the proper difference between ECRF and paper CRF? What is CRF? CRF is a case report form, a main document which is used to capture all protocol required information for every subject is called as a CRF. What exactly is CRF? A CRF is either it is printed or electronic documents used particularly to record all the protocol required information for each subject to be submitted to the sponsor. So it's a simple answer that it can be a printed or electronic document used to record all the protocol required information from each subject is called as your ECRF or CRF. What is E stands for? E stands for electronic, the electronic version that built inside the EDC system. EDC is electronic data capture, such as Medidata Rave or Oracle Inform or Viva CDMS or systems. What is the key difference between ECRF and the paper CRF? ECRF fires edit checks directly on the system, queries in real time, and carries a full audit trail, whatever changes, who have changed, and what changes have been done. Removes the transcription and double data entry burden of paper. So if you are using paper studies, the disadvantage of paper studies are it does not fire edit checks, it does not give queries on real time, it does not carries full audit trials, and there is a double data entry which is being done on paper studies. The design principles, it always captures only what protocol needs. Whenever it takes the information from protocol. Every field should be mapped for safety or efficacy or regulatory requirements. So this is the second question. The third question, what is data management plan? In other words, you call it as what is DMP, and why it is, what it contains, typically contains the DMP. The controlling document of every DM steps, it includes the collection, cleaning, validation, reconciliation, and locking, every aspect. A study specific document that describes how data is being collected, how data is being cleaned and reviewed and locked, and who is accountable for what steps and who is going to take care of this. One document, all activities. Core sections, it has study overview, roles and responsibilities, how you are designing a CRF, and data entry and edit check specification. All those are sections includes in your DMP. It also covers the query management's medical coding and convention assay reconciliation and external data or vendor data reconciliation. Its timing finalized before the first patient first patient, first visit. It's always version control updated based on the inputs updated, and it's always amended whenever protocol or database design changes. So this is the third question. First question, what is CDM? Second question, what is CRF? Third question, what is DMP or data management plan? The fourth question, what is EDC? Already we have seen that there is a word called as ECRF. So what exactly is ECRF we have seen. Now, what is EDC system? Name a system that you are aware and their advantage. Now, the electronic data capture, the backbone for modern advanced digitalized clinical trial, where the electronic systems are been capturing the data into clinical trial system. The softwares that lets investigator site to enter clinical trial data directly into validated electronic database or instead of paper double data entries. Different platforms, Medidata Rave, Oracle Clinical, Inform, Viva Vault, and IBM softwares. All those databases are being used for electronic databases. There are some open sources, Open Clinica. What are the advantage we have for EDC systems? The real-time data visibility, inbuilt validation, and automatic query firing, and fewer transcription errors, much faster database lock. And what is this compliance? This compliance of EDC system should be as per 21 CFR Part 11, which role is going to be used for what purposes, who is going to enter, who is going to review, who is going to validate the data. So the fourth question we have discussed about EDC. The first question is what is CDM? The second question is what is CRF? The third question is what is DMP? The fourth question is what is about EDC or electronic data capture? The fifth question, very interesting and most important, what is a query or data clarification form? Query comes in EDC while data clarification form comes in paper studies. However, we are not using much of paper studies, so it's always good that we are using only word called as query. Data clarification form and how the query management is being handled. So how the discrepant data gets identified and also questioned and also resolved. So this is what you call it as the most important part, which is called as query management or discrepancy management. What exactly is this? A query is a formal question raised to investigator's site when data is missing or inconsistent or illogical or out of range or contradictory to other forms. I'll just give an example. Start date of adverse event is being given as 25th of July. End date is being given as 24th of July. Start date is 25th. Stop date is 24th. Now, this is illogical, which you cannot accept it. This is where the data cleaning step comes. The discrepancy data comes in picture, and you start raising the query. There are two different types of queries. One is system-based query, which is being filed by the system. There is manual queries, which is raised by data manager or medical reviewers. The discrepancy first is being identified, and then query is being issued by the site response to the CRFs. Later on, DM will verify the responses and query gets closed. So first one, identification of discrepant data. Second one, raising the query to the site. Third one, response from the site. Fourth one, either it is closure or reissue based on the data manager. So here, the data manager activities are raising the queries and reviewing the answered queries, whether it has to be closed or it has to be reissued. So this is about the workflow of the query management. The best practices, how to write a query. Write it very clear, specific, non-leading questions. Track open query counts, aging as key data cleaning metrics. When we have raised, what we have raised, and all those things. When we are speaking about auto queries, this is a sixth question. When we are speaking about auto queries, there is a big word what is called as edit checks. What are the different types of edit checks we have? Automatically system-based query will be raised whenever the data is invalid or discrepant. So this is called as the discrepancy management. The first one, the programmed logic that catches the bad data at any point in time of data entry. So this is called as your edit checks. As per different definitions, it's a pre-programmed rules applied to entering of data to detect the values that are missing, invalid, inconsistent, illogical, clinically implausible. There are different types of checks, univariate or multivariate. Univariate is only applied to single field. Say, for example, blood pressure is not within the range. Height or weight is not within the range. So this is your univariate. Multivariate, it compares with two data. Like say, for example, demography data, you have a subject as male. However, the pregnancy is marked as yes. And it's a cross forms where we are going to put it. And the governance, every check has to be written by data validation plan, which is DVP, and also UAT has to be performed before the database goes live, whether the check is correctly firing, answering, closing, all those aspects have to be checked correctly. The seventh question, what is medical coding? And this medical coding is not the hospital and medical billing and coding. It's a different kind of a coding, particularly for clinical trial data to be coded. Explain MEDRA, Medical Dictionary for Regulatory Activities, and also WHO dictionaries. The standardizing of verbatim terms, whatever the disease terms are being entered, they are standardized by using medical coding dictionaries, MEDRA. Convert free text terms by the site into standardized dictionary codes. So it's a simple logic that you have to convert the free text verbatim to the standardized dictionary codes. So identical events are grouped consistently for analysis. And there are one thing which is called as MEDRA, which is used for adverse event for medical histories, indications, diseases, and signs and symptoms. The hierarchy is LLT to PT to HLT to HLGT and SOC. The WHO dictionary is used to code the concomitant and prior medications for ATC classifications. The process auto coding runs first, uncode, and also it makes sure multi event terms are being coded manually and is being taken into consideration. The next question, what is assay reconciliation? Why it is being performed? When there is two assays, same assay is being reported to CDM system and PV systems. The clinical system and safety database have to tell the same story. That's the whole answer for assay reconciliation. The definition, a structured comparison of serious adverse events, that is data held in the clinical database programming against the same events in pharmacovigilance database, and these are fields compared, subject IDs, and these all things are being compared. Why it is being done? So that the clinical study report, regulatory authorities, and pharmacovigilance and all those things will have the same data. How do you handle every mismatch is being queried, resolved from the site before the database lock? If it is not resolved, then the update is being made to the clinical systems. The comparing between two systems, clinical system and safety database, that both have the same SAE story is your SAE reconciliation. What is database lock? Why it has to be completed everything before it? So the point that no return to clinical trial database, where we are going to remove the access. There are two types of locks: soft lock and hard lock. Access revoking, freezing the database once all the data is clean, no further changes are being made without formal approval and lock. You have to get a data checklist. All queries are being closed, medical coding completed, SA reconciliation completed, no external data vendor, and data is being reconciled. Process checklist, data review and QC review, and protocol violations and deviations, everything is being completed. After lock, directly the data gets extracted for statistical analysis and subsequent changes. No other things can be done. So last question, what is data integrity? And this question is repeatedly asked in interviews. Explain Alcoa Plus and 21 CFR Part 11. So Alcoa Plus, the regulatory foundation for every data manager on it. It's attributable, legible, contemporaneous, and original, accurate. It is attributable, legible, contemporaneous, original, and accurate, which stands for Alcoa. Plus is the complete, consistent, enduring, and available. 21 CFR Part 11, it's electronic documents and electronic signatures used for particularly clinical trial system. The key requirements: validation of systems, system secure role-based access, unaltered audit trials, and control around the electronic signature. Why it is more important? Because data integrity failures lead to FDA 483, which is warning letters for US FDA. So turn this answers into your offer letters. We have upcoming SaaS workshop for 99 rupees, 2 hours of hands-on workshop, where I'll be directly showing the system of SaaS along with data sets, clinical data management from CRF designing to database lock, and also the SaaS workshop wherein all the activities can be taken care. So there are limited seats. Please do contact our team, and we have monsoon offer combination courses, including clinical data management, pharmacovigilance, regulatory affair, medical writing, TMFs, and also SaaS and SDTM and Excel, and also the AI systems, 10 course combinations, including the resume writing and soft skills. Please do reach out to 91211511624 or 91211511622 to confirm your seats. And thank you so much for joining today's live. So we have discussed about 10 questions. I'll just quickly recall all the questions. First question: what is CDM? Why it is important and in clinical trials? What is CRF and how eCRF is different from paper CRF? What is data management plan? Why it is what it typically contains? What is EDC? Name different systems you are aware and their advantage. What is query? Data clarification form and how query management is handled. What are edit checks? Explain the different types of examples. What is medical coding? Explain MEDRA and WHODD. And what is SA reconciliation? Why it is important and performed. What is database lock? What must be completed before it? And what is data integrity? And explain Alcoa. So please do join us on upcoming SaaS workshop. So with that, thank you so much for everyone who have joined this session on the weekend. I'm open for questions. I'm able to answer your questions. Anyone has any questions, you can ask me. So I think there is one question already. Sir, what are the hierarchy and also what roles are there in CDM? See, as I have already explained that the starting from CRFs, designers, to edit check specification creation, UAT, CSV team, and the query management team, discrepancy management team, medical coders, SA reconciliation team, and also there will be a project managers also. So different companies have different hierarchies. It depends. So I think there are no jobs for fresher. Depends, guys. I feel like there are 2 points here. Opportunities might be there. but you are not tapping it in right way. So or else how people are posting that they are getting jobs as freshers. So the way your resume is there, it has to be ATS friendly, and the channel which you are uploading your resumes, because now no one is taking from individual employee referrals, they are directly taking it from the career pages. I feel like this is partly hard to answer, that there are opportunities, but people are not ready to go into the ATS friendly resumes and preparing in right way. So there are opportunities, or else how people will be posting that I have started my new job on this. Daily on LinkedIn, I'm seeing these answers that they have started their jobs. Repeatedly, I think all big MNC companies are started hiring. I don't feel like there is no fresher jobs. No, there are job opportunities. Perfect. Any other questions anyone have? You can ask me. I feel like the session was interesting, and people enjoyed it. Any questions anyone have? Yeah. So I think 912 11 51622. You can contact us 912 and 912 Thank you. I think I'll be happy for next weekend session for drug regulatory affairs. I'll be doing drug regulatory affairs session also. So most probably, I would like people to utilize the time to answer these questions. I mean, to get more knowledge. I'm posting the numbers. So these are two numbers where you can connect with our team for any kind of questions. Um, okay. So any other questions anyone have? I feel like I'm okay. I'm happy to answer. Okay. So I'll definitely take next week on regulatory affairs, and ClinoSol team, if you are joined the session, please answer any kind of questions they are having. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Have a nice, wonderful day. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.